What's up guys, Josiah LaRue here. So today we're going to be talking about some of the latest news and technology. So let's go! So yeah, today we're going to be talking about some really exciting news from both Samsung and Nvidia. So let's go! So first off, we're going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now this is the latest flagship model of the Galaxy S line, and really, it's kind of underwhelming. Now let me show you a picture of the Galaxy S6. What does this phone remind you of? If you answered the iPhone 6, you are in fact very correct. To the point where people are honestly scratching their heads saying, why? Why copy it this much? The speaker grille, the bottom looks very much the same, the sides look the same, the top looks the same. It's a 5.1 inch screen, slightly larger than the iPhone 6, but smaller than the iPhone 6 Plus. The overall design is very similar, from buttons to layout to UI even. They have copied Apple Pay with Samsung Pay, icon even being the similar layout. They have copied even the keyboard to be the same. They have stuck with internal storage. That's right, you can no longer have an SD card in it. It's stuck with that. And it's a non-removable battery, which means the back is actually fused shut. So anything that you enjoyed with the customization of your Android Galaxy S phone, that's out the window. Now, granted, you can still tweak the software somewhat, but it's very much a experienced software, just like iOS is, but less refined because it's Android. So honestly, I don't think the Galaxy S6 is going to be as a big seller as Samsung thought it would be, even with all the copies. I mean, yes, it looks a lot like an iPhone, and if you want something that looks like an iPhone, but it isn't an iPhone, the S6 is probably going to be pretty good for you. People are already getting fairly used to not having expandable storage, so that was kind of already going the way anyways, but the things that Samsung often stood for with the expandable storage and the removable batteries and things like that, that really set them apart, that's gone now. You get to be like everybody else. You get to be like HTC, you get to be like LG, you get to be like Apple. The customization is gone, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Apple has shown that customers can then just buy the different models that they want, and you learn to be happy with that. Expandable storage is really going the way of the future based on everything that can just be streamed to your phone and vice versa. But Samsung, why did you have to copy the iPhone 6 so much? So let's talk about some specs. What does the Samsung iPhone, Galaxy S6 have under its hood? A 2.1 gigahertz octa-core special chip actually designed by Samsung themselves. They decided not to go with Snapdragon's processor because of overheating issues and other such things. They have 3 gigs of DDR memory for GPU and CPU. It has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, again, not expandable. It has a 5.1 Super AMOLED LED display with fingerprint reading touch home button down at the bottom, very much like Apple. And while the battery size is not mentioned, it'll probably be about the same capacity and duration as the Galaxy S5. So overall, Samsung, I think that you could have done better. You didn't really innovate, you just copied. And I don't think that's going to serve you well, particularly since you didn't offer any really new amazing features. The camera is a little bit better. It is a very clean and simple UI. It looks very much like a competitor that sells very well, and I'm sure they're banking off that a lot, but I don't think it's going to go over as well. A lot of people were waiting for the S6 and for the iPhone. They decided to go iPhone because iPhone offered bigger screen size, better camera, more innovation with the software, Apple Pay, things like that, and it was really a huge seller. And I think that just ripping Apple off for this is not going to do Samsung very well, but time will tell. Another thing Samsung released at their conference is what they call Gear VR. And this was actually released earlier last year, but it was using the Note 4 as the display. Now they're using the Galaxy S6, and while the screen size is slightly smaller at 5.1 inches instead of that 5.9, they can pack more pixels in there, make it a smaller, more dense, and kind of rich experience. They have buttons on the side, and it's actually pretty cool. It's basically just like giant ski goggles that you snap your phone into. It uses the camera in the back for positional tracking, as long with sensors around the head straps, and you can toggle stuff with sides or just move your head around. And it's, I think, the progression. It's a mid-step. It's not a final solution for VR. It's better than the Gear 1 original, and it certainly will continue to progress the world of virtual reality. And I think that's really cool that you can just have some like goggles type thing, snap your cell phone in and use that as virtual reality, and then if you want to take it out, snap the cell phone out and just keep using that. So it's functionality, it's expansion, and it's the way that virtual reality really needs to go. So I'm pretty excited for that. Nvidia also had a press conference and they released some pretty exciting stuff. First of all, they kind of sneak peeked Titan X. Now, this is the big brother or continuation slash son of the Titan Black. Now, the Titan line is Nvidia's premier premium line of still desktop graphics for consumers. So if you want something that's absolutely baller but still on the consumer end, you get a Titan. Now, they had originally the Titan, then they had the Titan Black, now they have the Titan X. Now, they haven't released full specs yet, but to say this thing is probably going to be graphics king is an understatement. It is built on the new Maxwell architecture, which already brings leaps and bounds ahead of really any other competitor in its graphical processing technology, but it also has 12 billion transistors and 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's insane how much RAM on board. I mean, that's almost as much as most gaming computers, even on the higher end, in your video card. That's going to allow people to do amazing stuff, whether it's 3D rendering or gaming on 3 to 4 panels in 4K or whatever. You can do a lot with 12 gigs of RAM, several billion transistors, and a screaming fast Maxwell architecture. So it'll be really cool to see. They're going to be releasing more details next week at their full Nvidia conference, and it'll be interesting to see what people can crank out of this card coming up in the next few months. The other cool thing that they released is Nvidia Shield. Yeah, that's right, they really didn't find a very creative name, being as they already had two other Shield products. First, the original Shield, which was the Xbox-looking game controller with a flip-up 5-inch display panel. Then they had the Nvidia Shield tablet, which was a 9-inch tablet, along with a separate controller that you could use. And now they have the Shield box. What it is an Android TV-powered set-top box that's for streaming. Pretty much what it is a competitor to the Razer Forge TV and any other Android-powered game streaming TV box. But it's from Nvidia, so you know it's already going to be pretty cool. Starting at $200, it comes with the set-top box and a game controller. It streams gameplay from your computer from Nvidia's Grid streaming service, where you can pay to rent games from their cloud service, and then it's just streamed down to your box. And it'll do 4K at 60 Hertz. That is incredible for a streaming box. So how is this thing powered? Well, it's built on the new Tegra X1 chip, which is pretty much the equivalent of a desktop graphics card maybe less than 2 years ago. So the amount of processing power that they can pack into a mobile chip, having the same capabilities of a full-on graphics card from a desktop or laptop, is actually quite amazing. And the things that they can do, streaming full 4K 60 Hertz games over the internet or over your local network to your TV and playing them without hardly any lag at all. Also, the fact that you can actually stream out to Twitch from your device. So you can be playing it off your PC on your big screen TV and stream that to Twitch. That is going to be really cool and really innovative, and I think it's the next step forward. I'll be interested to see. I might even pick up the Forge TV and the Nvidia Shield just to kind of compare the two, but I think that this is definitely the way of the future. Media PCs are not necessarily going to be as required based on the fact that you can have these very high-powered graphics chips in these smaller Android-powered boxes that don't have to use a lot of like hard drive space. It can just be streamed from one source or another and then sent right to your TV. And then using low latency, whether that's over Wi-Fi or whether that's over Bluetooth controllers, you can just play right on the couch. So this is the way of gaming for the future, and it really blows any type of console competitor out of the water. You're never, ever, ever, I take that back, it'll be many, many years, if ever, yet you're ever going to get 4K out of a console, whether that be an Xbox or PlayStation. The future is the innovation that these third-party vendors can take and make their own solution, and this is the way of the gaming future, and I'm really excited for it. So yeah guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Let me know in the comment box down below, what did you think about what I talked about today? Are you planning on getting the new Samsung Galaxy S6? What did you think of the fact that it so closely resembled an iPhone 6? Also, what do you think about Nvidia Shield and the ability to stream 4K games from your internet or from your local network right to your TV and play them on there? Is that pretty cool? Let me know in the comment box down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. You can check out last week's episode right here and what I talked about right here. Or hit that like and subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my new episodes, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!